You know, a job is supposed to give independence and sense of vision of a young person's view in society. And at the moment, what's on offer are internships, low-wage entry jobs, and the possibility of being recycled after a few months. And that's not really an acceptable vision. We have to try and tackle the employment crisis far more directly and far more broadly. Jointly with our global union partners, the TUAC and the union federations, we've prepared a statement which goes wider than just the OECD countries. It represents the views of the unions in all the G20 countries and also globally. It made progress in the run-up to the Washington G20 Labour Ministers meeting, where they were arguing for further measures to be taken on employment and trying to grow the way out of the crisis, to get growth, to create jobs, and also to spread living standards more fairly after the crisis, to ensure we don't get back into the same uneven growth, uneven distribution of income that we had before. Now, those issues are off the table for governments now. They've panicked in Europe with the sovereign debt crisis, with bond markets challenging them. Instead of standing up to those markets and putting forward a coherent plan for growth, basically they're now falling over each other to sort of try to find exit strategies which cut public expenditure and actually reduce growth. I mean, the UK figures of the measures taken last week by the UK suggest there'll be nearly 500,000, nearly 500,000 public sector jobs cut between now and 2014-15, probably the same number of jobs in the private sector. At the same time, the UK has to try and find nearly 1 million new jobs just to get back employment rates to where we were in 2007. So you're talking about trying to create, jobs to replace the jobs which are being cut. It's just not going to be on the table. So our arguments are that governments have to put forward a solution to the jobs crisis first and foremost, and get growth going, and by putting people back to work, by getting them to be able to then pay taxes, and also by measures like a financial transactions tax, which could raise very significant amounts of money and be really attacking some of the financial activities which led to the crisis in the first place. You could actually put forward plans which would be far fairer and far more effective in reducing fiscal deficits over the medium term. So those are some of the messages which we'll be putting to the governments on behalf of the unions in the coming weeks and months.